Alright, time for the top 10 manga of 2021. I'm kidding. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I don't read enough manga to do that. Also, I don't read enough current manga to do that. I read mangas after they're done, and that takes like a decade, so that's why One Piece is going to take like a year to read someday. Whew. Probably 3 years, actually. Welcome, friends. Lost Scarf here, and it's time for the vlog. I have a why this week. Before that, we got to talk about the direct. So, the direct was great. It was really, really good. I don't know anyone who could think it wasn't good, except for the people who are silly. And this one, crappy one, what do you call it? Fuzzy, because I moved my hair. There we go. My crappy hair. I should actually learn how to style this up instead of looking like the guy from Old Boy. Jesus Christ, that movie. Stop umming. Direct. The direct was good. I liked it a lot. I don't know anyone who could really complain about direct. That direct gave a lot to a lot of people. A lot of people are eating good after that. And this is the second day because I couldn't remember all the things from there. So all the things that I'm going to buy from that direct alone is obviously Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Splatoon 3, Triangle Strategy, Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, like Fire Emblem Warriors. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm playing that. Mario Strikers Advanced Wars. And then Front Mission 1 and 2. I'm so hyped for that because I love Front Mission. I played 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. I forget right now. And I kept meaning to go back and playing the original on SNES. It's from the SNES. Front Mission's just really fun. Chrono Cross depends on Jinx on that one, I think. Whether she wants to do a voice LP or not. Sports, I see no reason why I wouldn't get it. I'm really interested. If it controls well, I really will get it. I'll check reviews first. Cuphead DLC for sure. Earthbound, and Earthbound 0. So, we got Mother 3. You got 1 plus 2 makes 3. That's what we got. Oh my god. And the Mario Kart 8 tracks. I am debating if I want to just get the, extra online mode or whatever it's called. I just don't know. I'm not 100% on that yet. Maybe they add a little more value to it, because that really did help giving value to it. But if I buy all those things, plus Live Alive, about $500. About $500 if I do all of that. If I do all that, $500. Now, talking about Kirby specifically, oh my god, Forgotten Land is amazing. I cannot wait. Mouthful mode is hilarious. Like, when he first did the car thing, I thought that was just a joke. And it's like, oh no, that's a whole on new thing. Like, that is cool because of how creative the idea is. It gives Kirby more transformations to do besides just putting on hats. And that's fun, because it does remind me, and people pointed out, it reminds of Epic Yarn, when Kirby could transform in that. I actually thought Epic Yarn was more of a mainline game, because it was just a traditional platformer and everything, but no, it's considered a spin-off. I never thought of it that way, but I guess it is. Since, it's just Kirby, but everyone else is there, he's just not using copy abilities. What has me also hype about it is the freaking copy upgrades. I've never even considered that. Copy upgrades is awesome. That is pretty cool to me. So it just makes them stronger and stronger instead of just having the base forms. That's great. That is pretty cool. Looks like this is going to be a game that's going to take a lot of time to play through, and I'm happy about that. And it looks very pretty. It looks very nice in its style. Someone freaking kit one up and compared Forbidden West to Arceus. It's like, oh look, I'm comparing a Ferrari to a freaking van. What are you doing? These are two different things doing two different functions. What was funny was someone's like, oh hey, someone's entered Nintendo back into the console wars. It's been a couple decades. Nintendo hasn't been in the console wars in a long time. Once Xbox showed up, I think it's when Nintendo went, we're running our own race, we don't actually care about competition. I think that's when it happened. Maybe sooner. Pretty much the Wii is when it happened. The Wii is when they went, we only care about us, and we don't care about the competition, because they didn't decide to chase graphics. They decided to chase innovation instead, and it worked out pretty well for them, when you consider the Wii. The Wii was a hell of a thing. After all, you saw how PlayStation and Xbox both tried to have their own ideas copying off of that, and so on and so forth. But now, at the age we're at now, I think it's all the companies recognize Nintendo's running its own race, and its Xbox and PlayStation are fighting each other and using different ideas to differentiate themselves. what's interesting is how PlayStation was the first to come out with the pass, but Xbox is doing really good with the pass. So PlayStation needs to have a pass too. And I would not have a problem with that. If I just need them to hop over to PC as well, so I can play Bloodborne on PC. There's only like 3 games I actually care about, unless I can think of more. Okay, 4 games? No, the other one's already on PC. Let's say 4 games anyway, though. Because I've always wanted to play whatever Forbidden West is. I forget what it's called right now. Whatever that is, I've always wanted to play that since the 3 of them, but I wasn't going to buy a PlayStation. But I really wanted to play it. I was hoping for PC, and finally came to PC, just haven't played it yet. The other one is Ghost of Tsushima. Really want to play that. Bloodborne, like I said. And I forgot the other thing. I forgot the other thing in the span of this whole thing just now. There's not that many PlayStation games I actually care about. There isn't. Thankfully, a lot of games get ported to PC, or they're also on Xbox. That is the fortunate thing. There aren't that many... Spider-Man. Spider-Man's exclusive. Spider-Man. That's it. That's the only games I care about from PlayStation that are not available to me, because they're only on PlayStation. If they ever come to PC, I will be playing those. And I will most likely enjoy those, because they look like they're very fun. God, Ghost of Tsushima looked really pretty, too. That's the thing, like, PlayStation, Xbox went for power. Nintendo went for creativity and innovation, things like that. And I'm happy with that. So the Direct was really good, and I'm excited for all that. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of games to buy. And there's the full list. Where's the full list? Let's look at that, too. Oh, right. So there's a thing that no one else cares about, Kirby's eyes. So Kirby's eyes have evolved over the years. It wasn't until Amazing Mirror around that point, maybe Dreamland 3, the box art gave Kirby the blue eyes, the eye blues, and then sometime in the games they gave him the eye blues as well. It wasn't until that point. And then it's just been evolving over time what those eyes are about. In Star Allies, which the only some you're going to care about, his eyes got like kind of like a darkish pale purple blue going on there. And now it's more of a light blue, but they're kind of reflective from the angle you look at it from. So straight on they're blue, but from an angle they become light blue, which is very interesting. And the same thing is happening with the Waddle Dees. Now to hop out of the Kirby fandom, what other games are there? Let's see here. Rune Factory 5. Getting that. What is that? Sunglasses are not helping right now. Oh, Voice of Cards. Gonna probably get that one. Voice of Cards is good. It's an RPG, so at a point it gets really slow and boring. It's what RPGs do, unfortunately for me. Vampire Masquerade, yeah. What is that? Oh, Monster Hunter Rise expansion or whatever DLC in August. Okay. Missions, Splatoon 3. Oh, Bayonetta whenever that comes out. Downlight 2 already came out, but I don't have time for it right now. Sonic Frontier I'm going to play. Breath of the Wild. Mario Rabbids. I should finish Rabbids 1. I have not. What is that? Oh, SD Gundam. I'm really considering that because I like SD Gundam. Like, you have Gundam, but a comedy. SD Gundam. They still have action and stuff, but I like just how it's a comedy. It's so silly. Silk Song. We've just finished Hollow Knight for the most part. All that's left is the final boss rush. And that's been really fun to play, so I can't wait for Silk Song, of course. Then, Metal Slug Tactics. As a Metal Slug fan who has played all of them, who got so good that I can beat the first 3 games without getting hit. Couldn't do that with the others because I just wasn't into them as much. 1, 2, and X were my jam. Played them too much. I was like 3, but they were my jam. Played them way too much. I would love if we got a new collection on the Switch, which includes the newest ones, because there's some new ones. And now there's Tactics. You can play that. I'm going to play Tactics. And what is this one? What is that one? Plague Tale. I don't remember what that one is, but I'm interested in that. Oh, Temtem's coming to Switch. Temtem was pretty fun. It's Pokemon Online. What it is. River City Girls. I still gotta play that, and 2's coming apparently. Gollum. What? There's a Gollum game coming. Why is there a Gollum game coming? Anyway, there's things coming on the Switch, and I'm buying like half of them. Help me. Well, you don't have to help me. I do have a good job. That's the thing is, don't quit your day job unless you're this can beat your day job. Like, if you're just working like $7 an hour, and if you can make more than that on YouTube and Twitch, obviously go for the quit. Obviously as well, you can, because you can just get that job right back right now with what's going on right now. Moving on, speaking of what's going on right now, is very interesting. Something I just read on Twitter, which was interesting, was talking about World War II and talking about now. And that when World War II happened, all the men, they went to war, of course, but all the women stayed behind. And so the women were just stuck, well, being at home, and some of them worked for the war effort and some didn't. But what happened is, the youth of America, the men went to war, and the women just stayed at home. And maybe they helped with the war effort, that's what I'm saying. But what they lamented was, they were supposed to be partying and having fun with the men and doing all these things, and that wasn't happening because the war took it from them. And so, it's not as big a sacrifice, obviously, as men going to war, but they felt like it was a sacrifice because they lost their youth, the fun they were going to have. And it's unfortunate. When the men came back from World War II, the women, of course, wanted to party and dance and do all these things, and the men had wanted nothing to do with that. They just experienced trauma and death and all these things, and the women of America could not really bridge that gap very well because they just didn't see it. And a lot of American men brought back wives. They brought European wives with them, and there was a big scare about that, where women were like, European women are replacing the American woman. What are we going to do? There's not enough men for the women. So just all this stuff was happening because America's never not been xenophobic, now have we? And so there was that whole scare of that. And it was just this whole thing of people who wanted what was before a big event to come back. And it just could not. And this is where we are again with this pandemic. There are people who want pre-pandemic. But the truth of the matter is, we will never have pre-pandemic ever again. It's the same thing with 9/11. 9/11 really affected the youth. It really affected, well, everyone, obviously. But it took something away from, like, basically everyone. And we can't go back to what we were before 9/11. Just can't. It's very unfortunate. I did terrorist drills, I did terrorist drills. They weren't shooter drills. They were terrorist drills. In case terrorists attacked my school, I had to do drills for that. While kids now are doing drills for school shootings, which is very unfortunate. I don't know if they still do terrorist drills or not. But times change, and we lose things as times change, and we cannot go back. Make America great again is a weird thing to me, because it was great for a certain group, but we allowed things to go to crap in a lot of ways. The people who want that also allowed that to go to crap, because money is so much thinner now compared to what it was back then. You could do a lot of things back then because we weren't being squeezed as much. But corporations have gotten bigger, they've gotten stronger, they've broken so many unions. Employees are just so much weaker now. People don't make as much money as they used to now. Like, money's gone up because of inflation, but prices have gone up higher than inflation. And people are unable to understand that, unable to bridge that gap. It's really weird. And the microcosm of this pandemic is the same thing, is we're not going to go back to what it was before the pandemic. There are people who lost family to the pandemic. There are people who lost function in their own lung capacity and other parts of their body because of the pandemic. And you want them to go back to the things before that. You want them to go back to partying and going to bars and all that. And that's part of the reason why this has gone on so much longer than it should be. Imagine if we did have World War II and soldiers deserted and didn't do the war effort anymore, and people back at home didn't do the war effort anymore. The war would drag on longer because of just how poorly that's being managed. The pandemic is a war. It is a battle. We are fighting something. It's very unfortunate. If you don't give your full weight to something, you give it room to linger on, and that is what's happening here with the pandemic. It's quite unfortunate. And we are stuck with it, and we are very much stuck with it. California's making plans to treat it as an endemic, which is a little early, but that is the hope. You want it to become an endemic eventually at this point, because we will not eradicate it. So we will have a second flu with COVID. It's very unfortunate, because it would have been better if we did not. But all those dumbasses who said it was just another flu 2 years ago are now proven right, because they were dumbasses. You know what the biggest killer of cops was this year? Since we're on the subject, it's obvious what it is. Wasn't criminals, wasn't gunfights, wasn't all these other things. It was COVID. If you are an ACAB person, it's going well. They're taking themselves out. A lot of cops are also quitting and then dying off duty, and those numbers actually aren't getting counted. Everything in life is complicated. We can try to simplify it as much as we want. The economy, of course, got hurt by needing to hunker down for the pandemic. A lot of things got hurt by needing to hunker down for the pandemic. And honestly, I can't even imagine people of now doing the sacrifice that was done in World War II. I just can't even see those people accomplish that. I think we were just kind of built different. And also, our politics weren't as bad during that time. Politics have always been shit. There has been really dumb things said over politics over our 200 plus years as a country. But I still think the people of now would be pretty shitty in World War II. It just really feels like that. It's very unfortunate. I keep saying it's very unfortunate. Moving on, with anyone who's still here, let's talk about the why. And the question is, and next week will be the other version of it most likely, and the question is, why do I follow? And next week would be, why do I lead? Because I oftentimes will follow people instead of leading people. And the reason for that, I think, is because of a number of reasons. One reason is I follow others. Like, if there's a group of people walking, I prefer to be in the back. Why do I prefer to be in the back? Because I think it's just some survival instinct things. If there's some sort of bad thing up ahead, they're going to run into it first. If there's dog crap on the ground, they're going to run into it first. If, say, we're at a freaking green light, we're at a walkway, and a car's running a red, they're going to get hit first. Things like that kind of mindset, I think. It's just, they're going to see things first, and they're going to be able to inform me how I should be acting as well. Also, if you're going through crowds, you kind of want to draft behind someone else so that they can disperse the crowd in front of you, and then you just go behind them. This is something you learn in Comic-Con, or any big crowd is, do you want to be if you don't want to be rude, if you don't want to be the one who's just parting the sea to get through, you wait for someone else to do it, and then you follow behind them. That is why I follow in one instance, I feel. Like in a just actual crowd, that's why I follow. Why do I follow socially? Or in a thing, like say, like in a guild, I'm usually like, I have been the left-hand man, like the number 2, the right-hand man, like anywhere in the lower management a lot of times in my life, where I'm not necessarily leading, I'm just following instructions and orders, whatever, and just making things happen. And I'm propping up someone else. I've been in that spot for a lot of my life. If I see someone who I think is more competent at something than I am, I will push them to become the leader. I'm doing that right now with the supervisor position that I'm interviewing for. I'm in direct competition with some other people, but I recognize how good they are, but they have doubts about themselves when it comes to the supervisor position. But I push them because, like, you're really smart. You're capable of so many great things. I think you can do this thing. They're direct competition with me, and I'm saying they are capable of doing this, so they should walk with confidence in the interview with this position, so on and so forth. I should not be doing that, obviously. In one thought point, I should not be doing this because I'm in competition with them. In another thought point, in the grand scheme of things, I want the water plant to run well. And if I think someone can run it better than me, I want to make sure they get it. I don't want someone who I think can't run the plant, can't run the water to get ahead of me. So there are people who are interviewing that I don't feel as strongly about for the position, and I wasn't building them up, obviously, because of that. I'm only going to build up people. I still try to be nice, so because I see work as a second family. The reason for that is I spend a third of my life with these people, so I'm going to treat them with respect and kindness. So even the ones who I don't necessarily want them to get the position, I will still give them some platitude because I want them to, not feel bad if they don't get it, because I still gotta work with them at the end of the day. And I don't want them to be angry that they didn't get it. That's a fear I have, is people being sore about not getting a position, and then they get bitterness, and then they're not going to be fun to be around. And I'll cover why things that I'm not saying now that I want to bring up, I will bring up next time, because they're more leadership thoughts and feelings and things that I do. But as for the follower version of things that I do, yeah, that's it. Like, I will prop up people who I think are more for the job than me. But this is what I'll say for leadership. The second I feel like there's no one else who can do the job, that I feel like I'm the guy, I throw my freaking weight around. That's what I do. And I'll cover that more next week with why do I lead. Because in guilds, if I feel like no one can lead better than me, then I'll take it. But if I can find anyone who can lead better than me, I will push them up. I will do what I can to build their confidence or their skill set, because I think they have it. They have the potential, and I'll do what I can for them. That's a follower. That's a supporter. Why do I support? Why do I follow? That's the reasoning behind it for me. If I think someone is more capable, I will push them along. I will push them forward. That's partially why I'm sure that does lead into a little bit of why I want to be a teacher. Because the next generation has always got the infinite more potential than the current generation, because, well, they're younger. And whatever we built for them, they can build on and make even better, or they can build things themselves even higher. That's one of the reasons why I want to be a teacher, because you can help people go further. A question is, do I blindly follow? That is a good question. Do I blindly follow? I will blindly follow that which I think is better informed than I. I will, of course, still think it over and see if what they're saying is true, but initially it will be a blind follow. I think it is. Like, if my boss tells me this is the thing, I'm going to do the thing, but I'm still going to, if I have time, double check that's right, and double check they're not wrong, because we are all human, and humans fudge up. Humans make mistakes. I have paid for that. I was nearly blinded because of that. For those who do not know, maybe you're new. Following someone who was training me, there was an accident because they were being lax about safety, and I didn't think about it at all, because since they were lax about safety, I didn't think about safety. And we got a chemical agent in our eyes. He was really, it messed him up, it nearly blinded him, messed me up, nearly blinded me. Luckily, I didn't have to, it wasn't as bad, but if we didn't treat it soon enough, it could have been bad. He had to wear an eye patch, I did not. But God, it was painful. It really was. And I was just blindly following. I'm like, alright, he's not being safe, I guess it's fine. I had no thought in my mind went, we're being unsafe. Didn't even consider it, because he was just so nonchalant about it. Now it's like, okay, yeah, I better pay better attention, because you never know. Because I didn't realize how lax people are in safety. Some people are just lax in safety, which is not good. Every rule in safety, in OSHA and all those things, are written in blood. Because somebody died or someone got injured and they needed to put in a rule. Any rule at work, in any place, is made for 2 or 3 reasons. One is someone died. One is someone abused the rules and just screwed everyone else over. And the other one is possible. That is, someone in the higher degree, higher level, like manager or whatever, it just had a crazy idea that this might happen and they put in a rule. Sometimes there's things like that. Like preempting abuse, even if the abuse would never happen, kind of thing. That's also something that can happen. That's how long I've been going? Oh, damn, I thought I was only going to go 10 minutes. Other reasons to follow really quick. I think that's it. Just, it's important to know when to follow, and it's important to know when to lead. And I'll talk about leadership next time. So that is the vlog for now. I had fun. Hope you have fun watching. That's what's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.